Alright, hi everybody, it's Bonkai922. Yeah, I went fishing today, so, like, you know, you get up when you go fish, you get up early when you go fishing, so, yeah, you come home after fishing, and you get kind of dazed. Yeah, you still feel you're on the boat, but, I'm still able to do this. And, as I said on Facebook, anybody saw that message, the quote-unquote big live stream will happen Wednesday night, tomorrow night. It's basically going to be me. As I'm trying to fix this chair, I hate this chair. It's basically going to be me. I'm going to try to bring in Joten, King, Zoro, EOP, and I'll bring in some other people later on. And we're basically in the beginning of it talk about Comic-Con. Gotta talk about it. And say what we're going to be doing on Saturday. Anyway, that's Wednesday night. This is now Bleach, chapter 552. I'm going to do something different here. I'm just going to tell you briefly what happened at the very beginning of this chapter, and then we'll go into the details of Kisuke. It's Kisuke, man! Oh. So, pretty much in the beginning part of this chapter, we had the Sternritter Eye. And let me just go back and just briefly see what his, because I kind of forgot briefly what his thing was. Yeah, that's what his name was. Sternritter Eye, the Iron. Kong Du. Now, the reason why he's called the Iron, is because I think, well, he has these claws, so yeah, I think that's why he's called the Iron. And basically, and like I said, I'm going to briefly just state what, and I just wanted to briefly state his name. Beginning part, he's just mentioning to Busby, listen, he says, oh, Busby's saying, the Majesty's not going to like this. He says, no, that was His Majesty's orders to destroy, to kill the ones who stole the Bonkais from the captains by our hands. And Kong reveals that he took out Matsumoto, and then he's telling to Hitsugaya basically, it's only appropriate that you die side by side. Things live together, should die together. That's my motto, he says. And then he's just talking about his Hitsugaya's Bankai, Henrymaru, Daiguren, saying, I'm sure it's your first time receiving end of your Bankai. It's a glorious Bankai, and it is also something that wants to live together with you, stealing this Bankai from you and allowing it to live on long after you demise. Chapter 552 truly breaks my heart. I'm like, I have a question for Dong Ironclad. You're the enemy of Hitsugaya. Why you... Listen, man. That doesn't mean, just because it truly breaks my heart that I'm going to have to kill you. That's stupid. I guess he's showing respect. Whatever. Anyway, that's basically what happens. We got 552, Bleach, title page, The Fundamental Virulence. And then we see Mayuri, obviously, and he's hearing it from Kisuke. Yeah, Kisuke's in the house. Now that they can get their Bankais back. This explanation was long, so I don't want to have to go through page by page by page by page to explain this. Pretty much what Kisuke was telling Mayuri was that the way he found out of how to get their Bankais back is that he pinpointed a glaring weak point in the method of stealing the Bankais by the Quincies. So he exploit that and obstruct the taking of any further Bankais. Furthermore, it stands to reason that we can simply take back the already stolen Bankais as well. That's it. Mayuri kind of pulls him off, and he's like, he tries to pull off Kisuke. He's saying, oh, "Get the hell out of here! I don't need your help. I already do this shit." And he's like, "Oh, just messing with you." And he shows up out of nowhere from a Don guy, and basically the weakness he brings up the Espada, the arrancars. Basically, the arrancars, as we know, were able to do their resurrectiones forms, which happens when they release their sword. Now, the gist of it is that he brings up a point about this area that they have that they can use to pinpoint the captains and vice captains, and they're basically doing that to link them all up and to do what they have to do. And he gives them these pills called Shinoyaku. Basically, these pills will negate any further stealing of the Bankais and will get their Bankais back as well. And he basically said, so I decided to, stay in Wakamundo a bit longer. I picked up a clue while in Wakamundo on how to prevent Bankai loss. And he brings up the arrancars resurrection forms. Now, this is probably, I don't know, and here's another thing to think about. I don't know if Kisuke is going to imply to bring in the Espada or bring in the arrancars, but for now, he's just mentioning this part. He's just mentioning to say he found this out through the arrancars resurrection forms, and saying that so if the captain's Bankais were stolen, so on and so forth, reason that the arrancars resurrectiones could also be taken. However, not a single one of the arrancar had their resurrectione stolen. And further implied that they were using the arrancars, the Quincies, but they had no intention on relying on them. They enslaved them as soldiers, so on and so forth, for their power. However, they couldn't steal the resurrection from them. And I can think of only two reasons why. And he says, and then Mayuri cuts him off, saying, or stealing them would be detrimental to the Quincies. Meaning that if they stolen the resurrectiones from the Espada, it's almost as if like a poison. And that's what was brought up here. And Mayuri say, like, he's being sly and saying that conclusion that would somehow be detrimental to them is the only logical conclusion. And they find out they got all pinpointed and they're all connected to the captains and vice captains. Says, "Splendid, greetings," he starts talking to them, and Shinji's funny. He's like, "Yeah, like no one here knows who you are, dumbass." That was funny. And he sees the black pill to all their locations, so on and so forth. Once again, beholders of your respective Bankais. So with your hand, foot, sword, or whatever, please touch the pill, and it will be absorbed from where you touched it. The pill will permeate throughout your soul. And Mayuri's saying about he's been perplexed about one regarding the Quincies. The ill will Quincies have towards Hollows. That's the point. This is the point that they bring up in this part, Mayuri and Kisuke. Well, Kisuke brought it up first. They have an ill will towards hollows has to stem somewhere more than just mere tradition. Something like a difference in beliefs or ideologies, or cannot continually hate an enemy that has neither free will or a culture. The only viable reason for their continued resentment has got to be the basic instinct that kicks in when one's very existence is in jeopardy. The Quincies are a species, and that's what he's saying, that have no natural defenses against hollows. The very existence of essence of a hollow is like poison to the Quincies, meaning would not simply would rot their spiritual essence. For this very reason, Quincies must eradicate the hollows. In light of this, if one were to, say, absorb even a microfraction of a hollow's power, and hollowify a Bankai, even if momentarily, then the Bankai would become like poison to the Quincies. And we see Mr. Ironclad and blood coming out of him. So that is the chapter. And pretty much what this means is STERNRITTERS are fucked. They're fucked. They're fucked. And here's the thing that kind of puzzles me. If what Kisuke and Mayuri are trying to say in this chapter is they're poison, then how come... Now, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. Bringing the arrancars now might be detrimental, but I just feel that... And by the way, let's get to 4.5 out of 5. I just feel that maybe if the arrancars or Espada, wink, wink, were to fight the STERNRITTERS and fight them and hurt them, wouldn't that be considered poison as well? But I digress. Anyway, in layman's terms, this means they're screwed, because now the Bankais are a poison to them. So they have to get rid of them. Because if they don't get rid of the Bankais, it's going to eat them away. And they're going to disappear. And they're just going to run away. So, good old Kisuke. I should actually go get... Where's it? It's around here somewhere. I can't find it at the moment, but I should go get it and wear it. But, you know, I'll leave it in that note. But overall, this was a great chapter. A lot of info. Not as great as the One Piece chapter, which I will be doing next, because obviously this was just talk. This was just Kisuke telling the story. And hey, this is actually a big, huge woo to us. Big hint. At first, you never knew about the Quincies, about why they eradicated hollows. Well, we sort of know now why they wanted to do that. It is essentially that they view hollows as a threat to their existence. So, Kisuke has used that to counter them and say, you know. But this should be interesting now that all the captains, vice captains have been given this black pill. Hitsugai has used it, and now this guy is like bleeding from his wing here. Now Busby is there, but it doesn't matter because they're getting their Bankais back, and the Bankai is eating away at them now. The Quincies, the Vandenreich, the STERNRITTERS. So this goes for Hitsugai's fight, and this goes for Soifang's fight. So, yeah. Now, I won't lie, I kind of and pissed off that Rangiku was on death's bed there. I don't like that shit. So I hope Mr. Ironclad, I hope he rots away, and there's nothing but a pool of his residual residue. All that's left is his residue of his spiritual essence. Because, man, get the fuck out of here. He's like, it breaks my... I'm like, get me a break. That beginning part, I'll say this right now. What are you doing? Like, break my heart. What? You're the enemy. They're the enemy. You are sympathizing with Hitsugaya? But I guess it's more of a code thing. Doesn't matter. You're running away now. Go fuck yourself. That's the way I look at it. But yeah, this was a good chapter. Like I said, 4.5 out of 5. I personally, I'm telling you what you guys think. I want to see the arrancars. I actually want to see them make an appearance. Now that we know this about this weakness on the Quincies, reason they hate hollows and they must destroy them, and the arrancars, Kisuke really, hey man, 411. Where's the army? Yeah, where's the arrancar army? Because hey, I'm all down for it. I think they should bring them in and crack some skulls. But hey, that's just me. Alright, that's the story, people. Good chapter, like I said. It's Bankai 922. There's a few videos that I'm going to try to do. Later than I try to. One's going to be Toriko. And one is going to try to be something with Capcom. So yeah, look forward to that. That's all I got for you guys. It's Bankai 922. See you guys later. Kisuke. He knows all. He knows all. So, Bach, you can't fuck. See ya.